In this video, we are going to look at the concept behind division of decimals. If I say 2.2 divided by 2, the answer is supposed to be 1.1. This here, the first number is called the dividend. The second number is called the divisor. And the answer is called the quotient. These are three key important terminologies that you need to be aware of. Let's look at another example. 3.6 over 3 is equal to 1.2. And in a moment, we're going to see how that works. So this number here on the top is called the dividend. This number here on the bottom is the divisor. And the answer is the quotient. Whenever you use the long division format, let's say 2.6 divided by 2, the long division format looks like this. You have 2.6 on the inside and then 2 on the outside. And the answer will be on the top, which is supposed to be 1.3. This is a dividend. The number on the outside is a divisor, and the answer is a quotient. 0.55 divided by 0.05. How would you do that? Let's write this in form of a fraction. See what happens. 0.55 goes on the top, 0.05 goes on the bottom. I will remove the decimals. How do I remove the decimals? If I multiply by 100 on the top and I multiply by 100 on the bottom, I'm going to end up with 55 over 5. What does it mean to multiply a decimal by 100? So the decimal point moves 2 places to the right, 0.005 point. But then these two zeros don't mean anything because they are in front of the decimal point. So the answer is just 5, which is here. I move the decimal point 2 places to the right. I end up with just 55. And then we know that 55 divided by 5 is 11. So the answer for this question is 11. 11 is the quotient. Let's try another one. 0.63 divided by 0.07. I will move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So I end up with 7. I move this decimal point 2 places to the right. I end up with 63. So the answer is 9. Let's write it again in the form of a fraction. I want to remove all the decimals. 3 digits after the decimal. That means I multiply by 1000. So that the decimal point is gone. Here I also multiply by 1000, so I end up with what? So on the bottom I end up with 44. On the top, let me do it over here, 0.22, 1, 2, 3. So I have to add a 0 here. So the answer on the top will be 220. So now I divide. The easiest way to divide when you have big numbers like this, you can start by simplifying this fraction. Maybe divide by 2, divide by 2. So I end up with 110 over 22. So it's getting easier now. If I have 110 divided by 22, can I simplify again? I can divide by 11 on the top, divide by 11 on the bottom. 10 is 2, and then 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the answer is 5. Now let's look at other types of division problem. Let's use the long division. Whenever you do the long division, the dividend always has to go on the inside and the divisor always goes on the outside. The very first thing I have to do is to move the decimal point up. Very important. Keep it in the same vertical line. 5 goes into 23 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. So I have 3. I bring down 5. 5 goes into 35 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. So I have 0. I bring down the 5. 5 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. So when I do minus 5, I get 0. So my answer is going to be 47.1. I want you to realize how my numbers are lined up. Let's try another one. Let's use the long division. Again, I will remove the decimal point right here. Then I will start with 27. 8 goes into 27 3 times. See how I put 3 above 7. I don't put it here. I don't put it just anywhere. Because I'm using 27, the last digit is 7. So I have to put that number above 7. 3 times 8 is 24 minus. So I have 3. Bring down 6. 8 goes into 36 4 times. You see how I put 4 above 6? 4 times 8 is 32. I have 4. I bring down 8. 8 goes into 48 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. 34.6. How about I don't want my divisor to be a decimal number, so I will multiply by 10. I will also multiply by 10 here on the inside, so I end up with 16 on the outside. On the inside I end up with 89.6, and then I move the decimal point up here Then 16 goes into 89 how many times? Let's try maybe 5 and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then you can try another one. So 5 times 16 is actually 80. So that's good. Subtraction, I have 9. Bring down 6. 16 goes into 96 how many times? It's 6, because 6 times 16 is 96. So the answer is 5.6. How about this one? I move the decimal point up. 6 goes into 1 0 time, so I put 0 here. 0 times 6 is 0, so I bring down the 6. 6 goes into 16 how many times? 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12, so I bring down the 8. 6 goes into 48 8 times, so the answer is 0.28. I put the decimal point up here. 4 goes into 0 0 time, so I put 0 here. 4 times 0 is 0. Subtraction, so that gives me 0. I bring down another 0. Still that's 0. 0 times 4 is 0, so I bring down the 9. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtraction, I have 1. I bring down the 6. And 4 goes into 16 4 times. And 4 times 4 is 16, so the answer is 0.024. Let's try another one. How about 4 divided by 3? Now this question will give us a decimal answer. 3 goes into 4 one time, so I have 1 here. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtraction, I have 1. So at this point, I'm going to put a decimal point here. Basically, there is a decimal point here, and then I can add zeros, as many zeros as I want. This number is still equal to 4, so I didn't change anything. So now I bring down the 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtraction, I have 1 again. So I bring down the 0 again. 3 goes into 10 3 times again. So it will be repeating. So my answer will be 1.333 repeating. You can also write it as 1.3 with a bar on the top of 3, which just tells you that the digit 3 will keep repeating forever. Let's do the reverse. This time let's do 3 divided by 4. 3.0000. It doesn't change anything, so I put the decimal point on the top. 4 goes into 3 0 times. 0 times 4 is 0, so I have 3. I bring down the 0. 3 goes into 30 how many times? 7. 7 times 4 is 28. I have 5. I have 2 here. I bring down 20. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 20 is 20, so the answer is 0.75.